Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while. Um, Life's been crazy. I've been wanting to get out here. I finally slowed down a little bit, but then it's been so hot here in Oklahoma. It's been averaging, the last week or two has been averaging 100 degrees. Got a break in the weather today. We had a cold front come through. Today's July 5th, so I hope everybody still has all their fingers. So we had a cold front come through, and it's been raining for the last 24 hours, and it's like 80 degrees outside. So I was like, I better take full advantage of this time and finally get out to the shop. I've got a new camera that my wife got for me for Father's Day. Been super excited to try to use it. I got a Sony ZV-1F. It's supposed to be an awesome vlogging camera. So I'm going to start using that for shots like this right here, and things like that for when I go to the car shows. But still going to be using the tried and true GoPros for the action stuff. They're, and they're great cameras. Like most everything I've shot up until right now has been on a GoPro style camera, and I just been wanting to step up and get a little bit better quality for like shots where I'm talking to the camera, or non-action shots, like when I'm working on something I can set this up on my tripod and do things better. I can use wireless mics with this, which I have gotten and I'm not using at the moment, but I've got this put up, and I'm going to finally take advantage of this cool weather and try to clean up the shop some. Like I said, I've been talking about it over several months of finally doing it. I've been lazy. Usually I put my tools up after I'm done using them. I clean them, put them up. They have their places where they go, and when I go to need them again, I know exactly where they are. And I've not been doing that the last several months, and I'm hating myself for it, because it's almost been an OCD. Is I've always cleaned my tools, always put them up, like always, and I haven't. So here I am. Shop has been in this same mess for quite some time, but I'm gonna pull the C10 out. I've got these engines over here in the corner on the other side, over here. Got those over there on the other side, behind the engine hoist and toolbox over there. I'm gonna pull those out. I'm gonna move the cab over there. I'm gonna sweep everything out really well, hopefully. May tinker with the C10 a little bit. I've got a new steering wheel to put on it, which I'm really excited about, because it's a nice new steering wheel. Get rid of the old busted ugly one, but it was much better than what was on it. What was on it was this little like 12-inch aftermarket. I think it was a Grant, and it sucked. It was little. It was just annoying, and so I pulled it off and put an old, really old steering wheel on it that was for a manual steering box truck. So this thing is like, you look like you're driving a bus. Things are so big, but it was great because it had plenty of the power steering pump kind of sucks a little bit, so does the steering box. Like, I really think I want to upgrade to a rack and pinion on that eventually, but I think I want to replace I want to do this, but then I don't, because doing that, well, the rack and pinion is one thing, but I was thinking about putting a tubular cross member as well, doing with the big bulky factory front cross member for it, because as low as it is, it's kind of a ground clearance issue, where I could put something in there that's a little flatter and have more ground clearance, which if I could find something that would reuse those spindles would be great, because I've got a lot of money invested in the drop spindles and the springs. If I could find something that I reuse those spindles, that'd be great. But I haven't looked for it because I've got bigger fish to fry, so to speak. But it's, down the road. I could probably, for what one of the new steering box costs to replace the one that's on it, I could probably easily buy a rack and pinion system and put on it. I even thought about going with a manual rack, just because. Wouldn't have to worry about lines, like no leaky power steering fluid or power steering pumps. But I'm really glad to be back out in the shop and excited to be making a video again. Like I said, it's been far too long. Like I said, I've got a new toy I want to play with. And just like I enjoy making these videos a lot. I get super excited about getting them done, getting them uploaded, seeing the reaction and stuff. And like I said, I'm trying to step up the quality a little bit. And it's still hot out here, even though it's only 80 degrees. I'm still sweating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on time lapse, check out that feature on this, and see how that goes. So you'll see me moving around and everything. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, let's get to work. So, I'd mentioned that a while back, when I was cleaning out the Samurai, that I'd found Rednecks with Paychecks tickets from 2012, and so yeah, so it's been around. It was probably a mud toy back then, because that's pretty much what they do at Rednecks. I've never been there. It's only a couple hours away. If you haven't ever heard of Rednecks with Paychecks, you could look it up on YouTube. It's pretty wild there. Like there's things like I would like to go check it out sometime, but it gets pretty wild and tons of drinking, and there's been several fatalities down there. A couple of years ago, maybe even just last year, there's a child that was ran over. He was riding one of the small four-wheelers, and somebody in a big truck didn't see him and ran him over. And then there's other people just doing drunk and stupid and got themselves killed somehow. But because it gets so wild is one thing that's kept me from going. But it's something, like it's like a 4-day party every time. They have a spring event, a fall event. I think every few months they have one. But I thought it was pretty cool to find that, find these tickets. So, but yeah, showing the Samurai's been around doing its thing for a while, in one shape or another. But yeah, like I said, I thought it was cool. To save some battery life and me constantly having to change out the battery, because the one thing I did read about these cameras is that the battery life is relatively not great, but nobody said how long they last specifically, so I'm not sure. The last one wasn't fully I just changed the battery, and it wasn't fully charged when I turned the camera back on, or when I turned it on. In fact, it had shut off while I was moving stuff around, so just to save from you sitting through time lapse being bored, I'm just gonna pick back up after I'm done. It'll save a ton of editing and stuff like that too. So I'm gonna get back to work after I shut this off and try not to sweat to death. So see y'all shortly. All right, so back out here in the shop and still trying to enjoy some of this nice
cooler weather. It's 85. I looked, and tomorrow it's supposed to be 85 also. So I'm going to drive the C10 to work. And so I'm going to put on the new steering wheel, a couple other little things. Like I've got some new door handles and door window cranks. So we're just going to pop those on. It's just little things that I should have been spending money on otherwise, but this is something that'll make me happy seeing it in the truck while I'm still driving it around. Also need to put this power steering belt back on it. But yes, so I wanted to show the old busted steering wheel that I had mentioned. So this is off of a GMC. It was a 72 GMC that I got for parts. It's the same truck that the bed came off of. I'd swapped out the steering columns because this steering column that was in this truck was really all the bushings were out in it, and it was you could wiggle the shaft up and down and everything. So I had the steering wheel sitting around, and I was tired of monkeying with that little one. But yeah, as you can see, it's seen better days, and I didn't clock it either. Like the wheels are straight. It's cockeyed like that, but I just threw it on there. About to pop it off, put my new one on, and we'll see what that looks like. All right, so I finally got the steering wheel on, and I'll show that in a second. But I was just putting on my new handles, and so I ordered these off of Amazon. This is the inner door handle and new the new window crank. But I was just getting a good look at the original one, which is very pitted, and it's from 1969. I'm assuming it's the original one off this truck because nothing else is. Until I come along, I don't think it had the original motor in it. Well, I know it didn't have the original motor in it because it was a newer block. Dipstick was on the other side of the block than what would have been in the 69. But I was just looking, and like the quality is really good. Like it's almost exact. And these were like $7 off of Amazon a piece. And it's the same weight. Like I just want to say, like it looks like an OEM piece. Like before this one pitted, I bet it looked just like this. So I'll put a link on Amazon. Like it blew my mind how inexpensive these were. But I just wanted to say, like these are really good quality. Because I was like, yeah, it's coming from Amazon. It'll be better than the pitted stuff that's on there, and then later on I'll buy some better quality stuff. But no, like I'm super impressed with how nice this is. I've already put the other side on. But yeah, I just wanted to say these are nice. These are very nice. Came with the new clips and everything. Just pop right on. And I say that, and it doesn't want to go on. There you go. But I'll show you the steering wheel, and I tell you what, this will be the very last time I put on one of those Grant steering wheels. It looks great, but man, it is an SOB to get that horn button on. As you see there, it looks nice. It looks really good. But I could not get this with the spring to go on. I had to pull the spring out of it, which there's no horn on this anyway. But the fact that I had to leave that spring out just to get the button on, that bow tie right there was the whole reason I paid $125 for this stupid steering wheel. It's because I've always liked the way that looked, and I'm extremely disappointed. Like, it was $125 for the wheel, and then had to spend another $40 for the adapter. And back in the day, I remember Grant wheels being a lot cheaper than that, but everything is so expensive these days. But it's on. It looks good. Like I said, There's no horn on this, and I'm not really worried about it right now anyway. But just the fact that wouldn't, and it's gonna rattle since there's no spring in it, it's gonna rattle. But it looks really good. I'm happy with that part. That's the key thing. It's gotta look good. Like, I mean, it function, but if it looks good, that's where it's at. But no, I like the wheel. Just it took me an hour. I jacked with this for an hour, trying to get. In 30 minutes of it was trying to get that stupid button on there. But it is what it is. It's on there now. Got to throw the belt on the power steering pump, and I'll be ready to drive this thing to work tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm stoked to drive it to work. Earlier this spring, I drove it for a week and a half straight. It was beautiful weather. Cruised it to work 8 days. Like, I worked 5 days a week, and I mean, it's a 20-mile round trip, but it was great to drive it. And this truck drives so good. Even with the steering box a little wore out, it doesn't have too much slack in it, but it could be better. It's more. It's not so much that it's got slack in it. When I was saying that it's wore out, it needs seals, and I could just throw some seals in it and probably be fine. But it's an opportunity to upgrade. But I'm gonna shut this off, throw that belt on, and see how it drives with the new steering wheel. So, I'll see you in a minute.